Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhat Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are now doing the Ashtavakra Gita, and we are on the 18th chapter, where sage Ashtavakra describes the nature of the realized master, or how does he act, how does he transact, what is his mental vision of the universe, and so on and so forth. So we'll do Sloka 44 now. Mumukshor buddhiralambam Mumukshor buddhiralambam Antarena na vidyate Antarena na vidyate Niralambaiva nishkama Niralambaiva nishkama Buddhirmuktasya sarvada Buddhirmuktasya sarvada. Together. Mumukshor buddhiralambam Antarena na vidyate Niralambaiva nishkama Buddhirmuktasya sarvada. So again here is comparing the realized person versus unrealized person. So mumukshaha, mumuksha means the one who is seeking for freedom, means not yet achieved. Buddhihi alambanam, and is the one who is trying to take support from the buddhi for intellectual support. Intellectual support, seeking support at the intellectual level. That means he is still objectifying the Brahman. So if you ask people, have they realized? So they have been attending the Vedanta class for many years, and still they want to realize. The very fact that they want to realize something indicates that they are not realized, number one, and in a way they are objectifying what they want to get. So essentially the Brahman that they want to realize is still something to be achieved, something to be gained, or something to be a result of some action. Therefore it is an objectification of the Brahman. So this is one of the last hurdles of the self-realization, where people in the very process of that I want to realize, because mumukshutvam is one of the qualifications required for the mind. So viveka, vairagya, samadhi shatka sampatti, and mumukshutvam. These are the fourfold qualifications. So desire to realize, that is mumukshutvam. Since they have desire to realize, as though there is something to be gained. So just like I want to get this, I want to get this, I want to become Brahman. One cannot become Brahman. So then one need to become Brahman, but one cannot become Brahman. It is recognition that I am already Brahman, and that should be the success story. In other words, as long as I am still seeking and I want to realize, and the very desire to realize itself drives that or makes difficult for me to realize. So here it says, Mumukshur buddhiralambam. And how am I going to realize? Says Srotavyaha, Mantavyaha, Nididhyasitavyaha. So Tavyaha means you have to do Srotavyaha, study the scriptures, and Mantavya, reflect on the scriptures, and Nididhyasitavyaha, contemplate on the truth indicated by the scriptures. So they constantly study intellectual analysis and how this Mahatma, this Acharya said, and that Acharya said, how the other Acharyas criticize. So they go on and on and on, particularly I see in the lot of discussion groups, and extremely logical analysis are being provided, and other people disagreeing, these people agreeing, all that because they are intellectually objectifying the Brahman, and that's what essentially here the Ashtavakra points out. Mumukshur buddhil alambham, one is taking a shelter on the buddhi or using the intellect. Antarena na vidyate, antarena, but do not have knowledge of the truth internally. Internally means the mind has not turned attention in the truth, but getting carried away in the superficial, logical, counter-logical arguments. Because even in the Kathopanishad, the Yamadharmaraja, the teacher says, Naisha tarke namatirapaneya. That is, you cannot achieve this by tarkam. That means logic. Logically, I cannot deduce the truth. Whereas all other objective sciences, it is a logical deduction where I had to use the logic to arrive at the answer. But here I cannot arrive at the answer. What's the answer? I am Brahman. But I am Brahman is a subjective realization which I am already Brahman. I don't become a Brahman. I am already Brahman. And recognition, that means analyze in the direction pointed out, which is already evident or self-evident truth. Therefore, I don't have to do anything, but recognize that I don't have to do anything also. And here that's why essentially that I had to contemplate on it. You have to meditate on it. The very process of meditation, contemplation involves intellectual analysis where I had to discard all other the thoughts that are counter to it and concentrate ekagrata towards the truth that is being pointed out in the scriptures. Here we have to be careful. Until I realize I need that. Once I realize that itself has to drop. Shrutva jnanam swayam nasyet jalam katakarena vatu. So it has to get dissolved in the process of discovery because there is no phalavyapti. So called in Advaita, there is no phalavyapti. There is a vritti vyapti. That means one has to think, but there is no phalam, there is no fruit. Because what happens to that? Nothing happens. You are what you are. So the knowledge has to also disappear. The logical analysis also has to disappear. Intellectual analysis also has to disappear in the discovery of the truth. That is a discovery is only removing the cover only because it's a self-evident fact. That's essentially has to be understood here. That's what being pointed out by sage Ashtavakra. Antarena na vidyate. Even though one is inquiring and inquiring, he is not able to recognize or realize his own nature because of the mind is still trying to analyze. It is going extrovertedness in terms of the analysis. Niralambaiva nishkama. So the one Niralambaiva nishkama, the one who does not have any alambanam, that means does not depend on anything, and nishkamaha, the one who has no desires, including moksha. He has no more desires that I want to realize because he recognizes that there is nothing to realize. So therefore, it's a self-evident and already accomplished fact, but a recognition and claiming that I already accomplished has to be done. So niralambaiva nishkamaham buddhir muktasya sarvada. So buddhi, it is sarvada muktaha, buddhi muktaha. So intellect is already free from it. That means it's not an intellectual analysis that one is going to discover. It is already there all the time. Only intellect removes the misconceptions about it and claim by looking in the direction that is being pointed out, leave the intellect, and leave the intellect means leave the objectification of the intellect and see that because of which intellect itself works. Yan manasa manute enahur manomatam tadeva brahma tvam vidhi nedam yedam upasate. That which mind cannot think. Yan manasa manute. So it's not something to think about. Yan manasa manute enahur manomatam. That because of which mind has the capacity to think. That alone is Brahman, and not that this what you worship. That's what in the Kenopanishad says. So that is Brahman. That means that because of which you are able to think, not because of which the buddhi is able to intellect. It's not what buddhi thinks, but because of which what buddhi has a capacity to think. That alone is Brahman, and not what a conceptualized thought from the buddhi. These are very subtle, and you need that until you give up that to claim. Otherwise, you will be constantly in the realm of analysis only. So this is a jnani. So we talk about jnani again in sloka 45. Vishaya advipino vichya, Vishaya advipino vichya, Chakitaha saranarthanaha, Chakitaha saranarthinaha, Vishanti jhatiti krodham, Vishanti jhatiti krodham, Vishanti jhaniti krodham, niradhaikagra siddhaye, nirodhaikagra siddhaye. Together, Vishaya dvipino vichya, Chakitaha saranarthinaha, Vishayanti jhatiti krodham, nirodhaikagra siddhaye. Vishaya dvipino vichya. So Vishaya dvipino vichya. So one dvipino here is one, the tigers. When one sees the tiger, he gets frightened. So when you see tigers are coming all over from different directions, so one is scared. So Vishayaha dvipinaha. Here the simile is the Vishayaha, the sense objects are like a tigers and pouncing on you from different directions. So Vishaya dvipino, because there are not just one tiger, there are 5 tigers, because Sabda Sparsa Rupa Rasa Gandha, the 5 senses and 5 sense objects, and 5 sense objects are attracting and frightening you from different directions as though they are tigers. And having seen those tigers coming at you, so Vishayaha dvipino vichya, Chakitaha saranarinaha. So Chakitaha, so frightened, saranarinaha. So they seeking refuge or the protection from them. So people want to avoid the sense objects, because sense objects are like a tiger pouncing, so I want to get away from them. That means I am trying to pull my mind forcibly out of self-indulgence in all the objects. That itself is a struggle, because the mind wants to enjoy and purify. Only way to avoid all that is mind has to be purified by a process of karma yoga and upasana yoga, and that will help in terms of Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya irinaha. So he has to give up slowly, and longing for the object itself becomes a frightening thing for some of them, for an ajnani. Vishanti jhatiti krodham. So Vishanti, so enter jhatiti, once krodham, once into the cave of, you want to enter into the cave which is free from all that. Nirodha ekagra siddhaye, for attaining Nirodha ekagra siddhaye, attaining the control of the mind. You are trying to avoid everything, so you run from the sense objects and go into a cave where you are able to control your mind running after the sense objects. So physically, so Shama, Dhamma. Shama means the mentally withdrawing, Dhamma means physically withdrawing. So he's talking about mentally as well as physically. You run into a cave where all the sense objects are not there. Cave is that once you enter and there is nothing other than on all directions and whatever other than what you see, just the walls, so on. So that's a cave of your heart. So cave here is a single concentration on only one thing, and that itself becomes a contemplative or intellectual contemplative action, because intellect is withdrawn and you are trying to use that intellect on contemplation. So there is a withdrawal and contemplation. Pravrutti, nivrutti are involved. So for ekagra siddhaye, for single pointed meditation, you are trying to pull the mind. So yato yato nischarati manas chanchalam astiram tadastato niyamya itadu atmani eva vashammaye. So Krishna says, whenever the mind has run away to vishayas, into sense objects, so pull it right there and think in terms of contemplate on the Atma. So that itself is a struggle for many, because the very struggle itself deprives you of realization, because you are busy trying to struggle. So this is in terms of sadhana it is required, but slowly you have to go beyond the sadhana to recognize that even that sadhana becomes an obstacle, because it's a self-evident fact. Actually, once you see that self-evident fact, sadhana automatically drops out if the mind can recognize the truth that is self-evident. Mind is still going out, trying to control, and that itself becomes a struggle. So mind is not ready to look at the fact that it's already there. Pratibodha viditam matam. It is revealed in every thought. So why should I control the thought? And controlling the thought itself becomes another problem. It's a big struggle, particularly in meditation. So you have to control your thinking and not to think, and think, empty the mind. Empty the mind means mind has to think, because that's the nature of the mind. So how am I stop mind from thinking? So you are forcibly withdrawing. Chitta vritti nirodha. That's what the Patanjali Yoga says. You have to control the mind. So a lot of people, it is a lot of struggle to control the mind, and you may achieve it by controlling the mind. That does not help, of course, is realization, because that's only step one, but you have to have the proper knowledge of the mind to contemplate or to see the truth. So Patanjali, even though he talks about mental control and the contemplation and upasana, all that, but he himself is Advaitin. That means he was not able to recognize the absolute truth. And the very fact that I had to control and contemplate, the object is different from the subject, and Advaita still remains. So one has to be careful here. So that's why, as long as there is a duality, Scripture says, Ditiyadvo bhayam bhavati. Any duality is going to cause a fear. That's why you want to go into the cave away from everything. So seeing the duality itself becomes a problem for many. But if I see oneness that pervades the duality, then the mind doesn't recognize the duality, but recognizes only or cognizes only oneness that pervades. Once you recognize that, you can still enjoy the plurality without getting affected by it. Do sloka 46. Nirvasanam harim društva, nirvasanam harim društva, tushnim vishayadantinaha, tushnim vishayadantinaha, palayantena saktaste, palayantena saktaste, sevanto krutachatavaha, sevanto krutachatavaha. Together, nirvasanam harim društva, tushnim vishayadantinaha, palayantena saktaste, sevante kruta chatavaha, sevante kruta chatavaha. So nirvasanam harim društva. So a nirvasanam, so a lion who doesn't have, lion who doesn't have any more vasana, that means he doesn't have any more desire to eat anything, that means he is a full. So once an animal is full, it's not greedy like a human being, it eats what it needs, and after that it leaves whatever that prey to others. The scavengers are all waiting for lion to leave so that they can eat. So an animal eats what it needs and doesn't become a greedy like human who eats more than what he needs. And that's why people have problems of health problems and so on. So nirvasanam, having no desire to eat anymore, harim, the lion, dushtva, having seen the lion coming and doesn't have any desire to eat anything, but seeing that, tushnim vishayadantinaha. So tushnim, quietly, vishayadantinaha, elephants of sense objects is palayamte. So they run away from that. So seeing the elephant, seeing the lion coming, the sense objects themselves will run away. So there is a difference here. In the previous sloka, the mind, I am withdrawing the mind in the presence of sense object. Here he puts the other way around for a realized master, where the sense objects themselves run away, and when by seeing the lion and the elephants of called analogies, the Vishaya objects, the sense objects are compared with the elephants, and the Jivan Mukta, a realized master, is compared with the lion who is already fulfilled. That means he has no more desire for sense objects. So even if sense objects come, he does not really care. So why is the Atmaniyeva Atmanatushtaha is reveling in himself by himself, he is full by himself, so he doesn't have any desire to eat anything. If it comes, okay, if it doesn't come also, if the body, mind, intellect is different, but a realized master himself doesn't have any vasana, any desires. The body requires the food, so he fulfills the requirements of the body as needed, that the body requires certain foods, he eats only that much only without having a greediness there. So here the comparison of analogy is the Vishayas objects themselves run away, seeing a tiger. Even though tiger doesn't do anything, it's already full and not frightening anybody. So palayantaha, so they are run away from this. Nasekstaste, if they don't have, if they are unable to run, sevante krutachatavaha. So serve him like a servants, chatavaha, like a servants, they serve the tiger. So what here is, if the sense objects try to run away, and if they cannot run away, they try to serve him to the best that they can, like a servants there. So implication is that not that sense objects are going to run away, because they are inert to run away. So what implies is sense objects do not tempt him to enjoy, or do not, neither the temptation to eat or hatred to avoid. So both of them are not there, and they can serve. That means the sense objects will serve as needed. That means service is only demanded by the master. Says, yes, this body is hungry, so let's enjoy this. So it is dictated by the master, and they serve him in that sense. So here comparing the sense objects with the elephants, and the tiger is a realized mind of the realized master. So sloka 47. Namuktikarikam datte, namuktikarikam datte, nishanko yukta manasaha, nishanko yukta manasaha, pasyan srunvan sprusan jigran, pasyan srunvan sprusan jigran, ashnamaste adasukam, ashnamaste adasukam, together, namuktikarikam datte, nishanko yukta manasaha, Pasyan Srunvan Swashan Jigran Ashnanti Yadha Sukham. So now Mukti Karikam. So Mukti Karikam, the practice of controlling the mind for liberation, Nadatte, does not adopt by one who has Nishankaha, Yukta Manasaha. So he does not have any doubts for him to contemplate, and Yukta Manasaha, and one who has all the doubts and the Nishankaha, all the doubts and clarity all achieved, all the doubts are cleared, and the clarity of the mind that Aham Brahmasmi is fully established. So whose mind is completely identified with the self of I am that totality. So Pasyan, for him, Pasyans, Srunvan, Srusan, Jigran, Ashnan, that is seeing, the five sense organs, Srunvan hearing, Srusan touching, Jigran smelling, and Ashnan and the tasting or eating, Aste Yadha Sukham. So they are there happily serving the master here. So here all the five senses are serving the master as needed when he needs it. So he wants to see, he will use the eyesight properly. He will not go wherever the sense wants to go. He will automatically, senses are under the control, they come and try to serve the master as needed. So here in the previous example he gave analogy, just as the elephants who cannot run away, seeing the lion, they serve as needed by the lion. Sloka 48. Vastu Sravana Matrena Suddha Buddhir Nirakulaha Naivacharamanacharam Audasyam va prapasyati. Together, Vastu Sravana Matrena Suddha Buddhir Nirakulaha Naivacharamanacharam Audasyam va prapasyati. So Vastu Sravana Matrena, so by merely listening about the truth, Vastu is by the truth is Aham Brahmasmi. You are that. By listening to that means not hearing but listening. Listening is with a paying attention and recognizing the fact as you mention or as the teacher mentions. So Vastu Sravana Matrena, so Srotavyaha, Srotavyam, by listening to the teacher. Just as Nachiketas says, after listening to the teacher, immediately he realized, because his mind is already prepared. Whereas if you go to the Sadvidya, where Uddalaka teaches his son Swetaketu, but Swetaketu is not prepared that much because he was an arrogant in fact, and that's how the Uddalaka puts him in proper place and asking questions. Only when the student is wanted to know more, then only he teaches. But after teaching the Tattvamasi, he repeats that almost like 9 times, taking each example to clarify some of the doubts that the student has. That means the simple Sravanam that was not sufficient, and he had the Sravanam and Mantavyam. So one has to contemplate that to clear out all the doubts, and that's what essentially in that. Whereas in the Nachiketas in the Kathopanishad, even though he's a boy, he was fully prepared his mind, as you can see in the first 2 chapters, where he neglects everything else because I want only that and nothing, all other things are meaningless. So mind is already prepared to want that, because there is no desires for any object, and only desire is to realization. So Vastu Sravana Matrena, by listening to this teaching, Suddha Buddhir Nirakulaha, Suddha Buddhi, one who has purified his mind, hence serene, nirakulaha, and serene, that means without any agitations or whatsoever, including agitation that I want to design, I want to realize and so on, even that is not there. And nirakulaha, naiva achara, acharam, anacharam. So there is no question of acharam or inacharam, a proper conduct or improper conduct. There is no do's and don't list. All do's and don't list only to prepare the mind. If they already prepare the mind, there is no question of do's and don'ts, because the mind doesn't go into either the likes and dislikes are gone, and therefore it is na eva acharaha anacharaha. Audasyam prapasyati. Audasyam means indifference to udasinatvam. The indifference to all sense objects. If they come, is okay. If they don't come, also it's okay. So his mind doesn't get agitated. So that's essentially is a mind which is neither runs away nor goes after them. It is indifferent. Audasinam. That is essentially indifferent to the sense objects that come and go. And that is the nature of a realized master compared to still a seeker, and compared to in the extreme that who is still in the beginning mandabuddhi. So with that we'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.